Welcome back. Now, my next guests are brothers Lee and Adam Parkinson. They're both primary school teachers, and 3 years ago, they decided to launch a podcast about life in the classroom. Two Mr. P's in a podcast now has over 4 million listeners. I know. And then everyone's shocked with that, aren't they? I think you two are shocked as well, aren't you, lads? I know. Did you ever think when you set out on this, Lee, that you'd one day have 4 million people listening to you two chatting about being teachers?
I know. I think we need to make sure we're counting numbers properly to make sure it's that. Yeah, it's unreal. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, and tell us how it did start out then.
Yeah, so I've sort of been sharing tips, tricks, resources, lesson ideas, and sort of funny insights into life in the classroom for a number of years. And then we're on a family holiday in 2018, and we just sort of sat around the pool. Adam was telling stories as he's a TA in school. I was sharing some, and I listened to loads of podcasts, so I thought, why not sit down, record it? And yeah, went from there.
Yeah.
And also there's a book as well, isn't there?
Yeah, we've got our first book out, put a wet paper towel on it. The Weird and Wonderful World of Primary Schools. There it is,
That's a really cool cover.
Yeah, because that's it with teachers. We don't get any medical training. So anything can happen in a school. Arm drops off, eyeball out, wet paper towel on it.
And Adam, tell us a bit about what's in the book then.
The book is kind of like, it's our journeys about where we've got to. It's, we had different experiences when we were in primary school. Lee was very much the teacher's pet. I was very much the teacher's pet that the teacher wanted to give away. But no, and it's just hilarious tales, because the amazing thing about working in schools is no day's ever the same.
Yeah.
I mean, I love my job. I know I can speak on behalf of Lee. He loves his. And yeah, it's just a really fun way. I mean, it's called The Weird and Wonderful World of Primary Schools, and that's exactly what it's like, yeah.
Like you say, you've got so many stories. And I know that plenty of our audience, we've got questions we wanted to ask you as well. So Chaz and Sunny, your little boys wanted to ask some questions, didn't they?
They did.
Yeah. So first up, we've got Barney.
What's the yuckiest thing you found in the classroom cupboard?
Good question. Yuckiest thing in the classroom
very cute,
cupboard.
Yeah. The yuckiest thing, I mean, we did hear one where a child had an accident, a younger child had an accident in the uniform pants. Quick change, they put the dirty pants in a bag, put it into the stock cupboard. But then the teacher that put it into the stock cupboard was actually going on maternity leave. When she came back after a year... I mean, that sort of reaction, that's what I'm all about. The bag was still there.
And no one had noticed.
A year.
Yeah.
I mean, there's got to be some questions answered
There's all
there.
sorts. It's like a treasure trove, the teacher's cupboard, because we are the ultimate hoarders, teachers. We will keep anything in the hope that one day we might do an art lesson that needs 100 lollipop sticks and 50 milk bottles. My funniest was, well, it wasn't me, but someone found what they thought was raisins in the stock cupboard, but turned out to be mouse droppings.
Oh, God.
And I can only imagine how they found that out.
Right, let's move on to the next question from Simran.
What's the funniest thing that anybody's done for show and tell?
Oh, show and
Oh, I
tell.
love show and tell.
It's amazing as a child, as a teacher. It's one of the most terrifying experiences because you do not know what the children will bring. We've had all sorts, pictures of dads in mankinis. Yeah. And what I never realised was that people keep sort of, if they have an operation, they'll keep mementos. So we've had appendix, tonsils.
Oh, there's a tub of toenails.
Yeah, toenail clippings.
I thought people would enjoy it if I brought them in.
You keep weird stuff
I
like
do,
that.
yeah. I've got my stitches from my appendix when that was removed. Yeah, I keep all of that.
Yeah, would you ever take that in for show and
Of
tell?
course I would.
Yeah.
Let's do a show and tell.
Great, let's have another question then. I know Tawanga, your daughter wanted to ask one, didn't she? So let's find out what Michaela had to say.
What's the best excuse you've ever had from someone not handing in your homework?
Oh.
Now, this is one where you get a variety of excuses. So you get the ones that are just so honest. They say, didn't do it, didn't want to do it. And you have to admit that it's honest. And then you get the ones that kind of, they dob the parents in. I don't know if you get this, where the children will go in and they'll just say, oh, sorry, my mum forgot it. And then you'd say to the mum, or, little Bobby says you forgot the homework, and she didn't even know there was homework there. And then through lockdown, we had sorry, I couldn't do the homework because the Wi-Fi was down. but I gave you a printed sheet. So I'm not quite sure what's happening there. And then, but going back quite a few years, I had a boy come in my old school, and he said, I'm really sorry I couldn't do my maths homework because my older brother went to the toilet last night and we'd run out of toilet paper. So the only thing he could use was the fraction worksheet. Now, I actually know the older brother because he came to the school as well. And I was a bit like, that could be true.
To be fair, yeah, it could be true. What's the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to you at school?
Oh, right. So I think I had the worst first day at a school ever. We moved schools when we were at primary school, and I was about 8 years old. And at the time, I had this weird obsession with Elvis Presley, where my grandma made me an outfit and I'd wear it to family parties.
You've got the quiff now.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they're still taking inspiration. So I'm being shown around the new school by the teacher, and he says, so what are your hobbies? Now, I was going to go for the standard football, Sega Mega Drive. And then my mum went, oh, he loves Elvis. He does a great impression. So the teacher said, right, bring your costume in. You can perform. So my first day in a new school, stood on the table, belted out All Shook Up, right? And I must have done a really, really impressive job because the teacher then made me go round every other classroom in the whole school and perform.
Now that is a show and tell.
Now, bear in mind, this was my first day in this brand new school too, so I'm sat there trying to make a good impression. My oldest brother gets brought in an Elvis outfit, going, oh, baby. And I've got these lads going, is that your brother? I'm going, I've never seen him before in my life.
Brilliant. And you can tell why you've got 4 million listeners to your podcast with all your brilliant stories. Thank you so much for coming in. Good luck with the book and the tour as well. Now, we love hearing from you.